to hurt myself. Hello, everybody, and thanks for tuning in to the Storytelling Alchemist Show. I am actually live here from the Awakening.
Awakening into Wellness.
And Awakening Wellness in St. Petersburg, Florida. I am very excited about tonight, and I mentioned this last week. We're going to be taking a journey into sound healing with this gentleman back here, Phil.
Hi.
And I met him because of my friend Justin, probably, 6-7 months ago, something along those lines. And he does meditations on the beach over in, was it Sunset Beach here in St. Petersburg. And so they're absolutely incredible, and you get pretty deep into meditation. So we're going to talk to Phil. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Jeremy.
And pretty excited about having you. And I guess we'll just kind of jump right in, right?
Yeah, thanks for having me here.
Yeah, absolutely. And so how did you, what got you into sound healing and spirituality?
So I think sound healing and Reiki came about the same time for me. So I was healing from an accident, pretty severe one. I remember a friend of mine sent someone over to do Reiki on me. And then she was helping me find some music that would be good to meditate with and kind of do color visualizations, things like that. And it just really clicked. Like, I loved the music aspect. And then when I ended up learning Reiki, my teacher played crystal bowls, and I started running into more people that played crystal bowls, and it was one of those things to me at first. I was like, well, that's what they do. I love it, but I always listen. I could never play myself. But I started getting one bowl at a time and just developed a relationship with them all, and started doing groups for people. And mainly I was doing it for myself in the beginning, which I still do, to where it always just brings me into balance. And it brings me to my center.
You said something really powerful there. You said a relationship with the bowl.
Yes.
So can you talk a little about that?
Yeah, I find that's what it's all about, is the relationship with the bowls. Because sometimes people ask me to teach them how to play crystal bowl. And I tell them, you don't really need that. What you need is to sit down, don't get a whole set at once. Get one, so you can focus on that bowl and you. And you just start playing it. And you develop a relationship. You just notice how you feel when you play the bowl. You notice how the bowl responds to you, how you respond to the bowl, and it just kind of develops.
That's really cool. So you had actually gone through kind of an accident or something with your health, and it became your healing journey, right?
Yeah, very much.
And brought you, and so obviously you healed yourself, right?
Yeah.
And how long?
I had some help, but yeah.
How long ago was that?
My accident was 2010. So then it was a gradual process. Like it takes me for a while to click things in. Because I know I liked Reiki, I know I liked the sound, but it took a while for me to say, okay, I'm going to learn Reiki now. So around 2015, I started doing that, and then bringing the crystal bowls in, and then just started developing from that point, like from one crystal bowl to 2 to 3, then once I had 4, then I started doing it for people. Before I did groups, I would just have friends over my house and do that for them too. So it was an excitement. I just wanted to share it because I felt so much better having crystal in my life. You know, being able to, because I was collecting crystals before that too, so I had a relationship with crystals, and then to be able to make music with crystals, to me, was just phenomenal. Yeah.
Well, you're guys gonna have a treat tonight, because we just did a meditation with him. I want to say about an hour ago we ended, and we were all very conked out in a deep meditation.
We had one over here almost asleep.
We had a girl over here sleeping, some people back here asleep, and it's okay, because that means you relax, and that's kind of the point of the frequency. So that's about what it's about, is frequency, right?
Yeah, and actually that's a good point, is that sleeping can be helpful, or at least getting into that state in between wake and sleep, because it takes you out of the way. So once we move our human out of the way, then the sound can do more of the healing.
So that's interesting, because a lot of times people will tell me when they're doing meditation, they're like, well, I fell asleep. I just keep on falling asleep. I was like, that's not a bad thing.
No, not at all.
It means you just relaxed enough, and we don't necessarily relax enough. So
yeah, and then your mind's not doing all this stuff and interfering. And
well, very, very
it's a good place to be.
Anything that you'd like to tell anybody about sound healing that could help people?
Well, like I was saying, I think the relationship with it's important. Like with anything, like everything that we do, you have a relationship with, like with food, with sound, with people, with your work, with either watching TV, like everything.
Mhm.
So I think just understanding what you're listening to and how you feel when you listen to it.
Mhm.
That's a big piece, because I remember when I was more conscious of that and I stopped listening to like a lot of the pop music and stuff that I listened to when I was younger. I mean, I still listen to that and have fun, don't get me wrong, but a lot of the music I listen to, like I really notice how my body feels when I'm listening to it.
Mhm.
So then I take in the stuff that's more harmonic for me. So it's what works for me being different for you, and that's completely fine. So we all find different music that just works. And some people like different singing bowls too, and that's good as well. But also, I found that turning off everything, like when I drive, not having any sort of music or songs, anything, or talking on the phone, no podcast, things like that, and just spending some time silent with yourself, it kind of resets, and then you can understand the music that works for you even better.
I do that all the time, but my friend Justin, if he's on a long trip with me, he'll be like, "Can we turn on some music?" But our other friends will do that. But it's true, because you go long, like I'll actually go out and drive when I want to just focus and go on long drives. And so, yeah, that really is cool. I think you said something that was really interesting, and I lost my thought. It'll come back to me in a second. It is the focus, because I noticed when I was watching you on the beach one time, you were actually really just into this zone with the music, and you're kind of letting it guide you. And so the relationship makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, so the crystal bowls, they guide me in the experience. So it depends on who's in the room, like the energy that's present with the people, the energy that I'm going through, and the energy that's coming through the collective, and like the universe, like the moon and all the planets and all of that. That's going to affect everything too. So then that just creates a rhythm, and then I get to that flow and just kind of starts going.
Yeah, very cool.
Always find to start making some sort of sound, and then the flow comes.
I think that's really good for that, a lot of things, right?
Yeah, just do something, then it'll work out.
Yeah, yeah, the frequent, like you just kind of get into the flow of the universe and everything. It's very, very cool. Well, so I think that we'll probably just jump in here in a second, but what I want to tell everybody that's either watching live or any of the straight areas I'm streaming out right now, or you end up watching this in the archive later on Roku, now's the time to just kind of relax and, I imagine, get into the flow.
Yeah, just become very present with your body. Like wherever you're at, if you're sitting, laying down, if you're moving around, try to find a place to be still and just feel your body. Feel where you're at. Notice what your body feels like. Notice what your mind feels like. Notice what your emotions feel like all of it. Just tune into yourself and where you are. And then the frequency will start taking you to a place.
That's what I was thinking about. You mentioned getting in tune with your body, and it's like very much self-awareness.
Yes. Yeah, these have helped me with self-awareness tremendously. Because I'll be in a state and I'll start playing them for myself, and I get to my center and I'm like, okay, this is what's going on.
Very, very cool.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to get out of your way, and then we'll let you jump in and do your thing. And then when he's done, then I'll come back on and we'll kind of wrap up the show. But everybody enjoy this time. And of course, the cool thing about it is it's going to be archived, so you can play it over and over and over again.
Yes, absolutely.
But I'll get out of the way.
A lot of times whenever I do a group as well, I like to have some oracle cards so people can draw them in the beginning. And so you may want to do that at home for yourself too. So get some sort of like tarot, oracle, or anything that works for you. Like thought cards, and just draw one, kind of get your theme, let it go, then go into the experience. So wherever you're at, just take some breaths, take some nice deep breaths. Let your belly come out on the inhale. Slowly let it out. Just take a few conscious breaths to let you get into your body. and just take your breaths there and just notice what you're feeling. And then it can take you away. Take a deep breath. bring yourself to your heart space and just feel where you're at now. Just feeling your heart space and taking some breaths in the silence, in the stillness. And just notice, just be curious about yourself, what you feel like, any differences, any insights that might have happened, whatever happens. And after sound, I think it's always a really nice idea to kind of wrap yourself up, give yourself a hug, and thank yourself for showing up for yourself, for taking time for yourself, for showing yourself love. This is nurturing. When we become still and we resonate with frequencies, we allow sound into our life, we allow silence into our life, whatever it is that's bringing you into harmony, you want to thank yourself. Because we move at such a fast pace in this world, it's so important to take the time to fill up your heart, to find passion in the more still arts of yourself, of connecting.
I almost forgot to run the show. So just, I mean, honestly, like you said, just take some time, for Eastern time, it's getting to be bedtime for everybody.
Yes.
For Pacific time, you guys enjoy the rest of your evening.
Should we pick a card for him?
That would be really cool.
Yeah.
So he has us pick out cards that are messages for, but we'll do one for the group.
This is an interesting one. The words, it says sadness and isolation, but when you look at the picture, it's your inner work. It's being within yourself. The person's kind of like curled up underneath, and there's another person above, like just kind of shining in some light and water. And so that's like you did this, so that's going into your inner self. That's just, sometimes we feel sad, sometimes we feel isolated, sometimes we feel anxious. The willingness to go within and just feel that and be with yourself and nurture it. And then you're able to rise up above and just come out to the world with like, I'm here, I'm ready again. I'm even stronger now.
Well, a lot of people are probably doing this because we're, pandemic for 18 months of isolation. Yeah,
absolutely.
One of the things that just came up, and I wanted to kind of wrap up some of this. Probably, I got introduced to crystal bowls and Tibetan singing bowls and all that. Probably about, I want to say 2006, and it was roughly about 2008. I was probably going to one of the hardest parts of my life. And I remember I found this Crystal Singing Bowls CD. I know CD an awkward word these days. And I remember sitting there and listening to that over and over. I was unemployed. It was during the recession.
Yeah.
So I'd put a candle in front of me. I'd just stare at the flame and listen to that Crystal Bowl CD over and over and over, and all this anger and sadness and everything came up. And then the frequency, I'm sure this was just vibrating that out, because we always think of crystal bowls as relaxing, but it did eventually get me to that relaxed state.
Yeah, and they very much can be relaxing. It's just different. It depends on where you're at.
Yeah.
I remember sometimes people come out of a meditative experience in the crystal bowl group and like, oh my God, that's frightening. But then they feel a lot better.
Yeah.
Because what was frightening was facing your own inner demons. Because the music, sometimes the frequencies will almost like pin you down and make you just be still, energetically still too, to where you can't move your energy much, and just make you feel. And then they release you and you're just so much better. Yeah, we have to feel the distressing stuff. We can never ignore it. It just gets bigger and gets us in a lot of trouble.
Well, there's a rug right here. We can't just brush it right onto that.
Yeah, I think in 2021 we realized that by now, right?
Well, it is a 5-year for one.
Yeah.
So a lot of change. So last question. You do more than this, obviously. And I've got his website on the screen, everybody, so you'll be able to see it.
Yeah, so I'm also a psychotherapist. I graduated with my master's in 2001, so I've been doing that for a long time. And I do incorporate sound in my therapy sessions because I do a lot of trauma work. EMDR is one technique I use, and that's where you're helping someone move their eyes back and forth, and they're focusing on a specific event, and it basically helps them resolve it. So it's intense work. So there's breaks that we take, or toward the end of a session or something, or maybe sometimes if we're stuck and they're not making any movement, I'll bring the crystal bowls in and just help them, like, let them do some magic, then go back to it. And it's even more powerful and it's more effective. So there's.
Do you have to have them locally, or can you do that at sessions like that?
I can do them video.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's not just trauma work. I do a lot of work in helping people just uncover who they are and fall in love with that.
Nice.
But the sound, the energy work, all that has helped so much.
Nice. Well, thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you, Jeremy. This was fun.
It was a lot of fun. And everybody remember, this will be on Roku TV in about 1 or 2 days.
Oh, cool.
And so it's LA Tribune TV on Roku. If you look for that up, just like you would be searching for Netflix or any of that kind of stuff. Also, my friend Pearl Prather will be on next week. And she is the owner of a store called Mystical Sense over in Tampa. And I would consider her to be one of the spiritual and pagan leaders in the Tampa Bay area. So we'll be having a pretty cool conversation next week. And I have this really cool guest coming out. I'm really excited. In October, he was a paraplegic, and everybody told him he could never walk again. And he actually is walking full range of motion, and got out of his wheelchair, and because he did what we do, energy.
That's freaking awesome.
So yeah, pretty cool stuff. So everybody, thanks again for watching the show, and very exciting. If you like this, like, share, comment, subscribe to the channel, subscribe to the LA Tribune TV channel as well, and many blessings, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you.